Right then, guys, you haven't seen this for a while, have you? This pile of laundry here is my GPZ500S, which, if you go back a little bit, you will know that I am trying to do a restoration on this, a nut and bolt restoration. I'm trying to do a really nice job, and I think I have done a really nice job so far, but there is so much to do still, and I think it's about time I got back on and done a little bit. This is a long-term project, a very long-term project. It's probably 2 years old now. It's probably going to be at least that again, but this mess here is the wiring loom, quite obviously. What I am going to do, how do you restore a wiring loom? I'm not a bike restoration expert, please be assured of that. I am learning as I go. But how do you restore a wiring loom? I am going to, well, I'm just going to clean it, and I'm going to spend some time cleaning it as well. Hello, it's me. So I'm just setting the camera up. It's actually wrapped in PVC tape, which I don't like. So I am going to re-wrap the entire thing in cloth tape because I think it's better. But before I do that, I've got to clean up. Look at these plugs. They've all got grease and marks and shit on them. And I don't quite know how I'm going to clean this all, but I'm going to... This is just soapy water. That's all it is. So I'm going to start off simply by getting this little brush, hot soapy water. It's not hot. Soapy water. And see if I can just go through this plug by plug, line by line, and just see if I can get it as clean as I can possibly get it. Now this is obviously going to be mind-numbingly boring, and it's going to take a long time, but fortunately for you, you don't have to sit here and watch me do it. When I have done it, I'm going to obviously install it on the bike. You don't even see much of the wiring loom, to be honest with you. You know what, I'll probably be better off starting off at one end and working towards the other end. Yeah, and then we want to get it fitted. I don't know exactly how to fit it, which is why I have the benefit of a parts bike that's already got a wiring loom on it. So what I can do is just pull my parts bike out, see how this loom is routed, and proceed from there. Now that's obviously the headlight, so this is the front of the loom. Anyway, leave that to me. I'll probably bring you back when I'm cleaned it, and we'll make a start on wrapping it. I'm not going to make you watch me wrap the entire thing, but yeah, let me crack on. Right, I'm working my way down this loom, cleaning it. There's a couple of areas like there that I've got to do some repairs and what have you. It's not too bad. Exposed wire there. I've then come to this bit. What the fuck is that? Some sort of resistor or something. I mean, that's not factory. What the fuck? It's like a lump of cable tie to support it, and then some hot snot, And well, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't see that. I don't know what that is. I'm just going to presume it's there for a reason, and I shall just wrap it up, and we'll pretend that's not there. Fucking hell. Right, I've given that a clean the best I can. The good thing about cleaning a loom like that is it does give you a chance to fully inspect it. Things like this, a couple of crimp-on terminals, they'll be getting changed. What else was there I saw? That resistor there, obviously I ain't got a fucking clue what that is, so I'm probably, given my history of electrics, I'm probably going to leave it. And there was something else, can't see it now, but there was a wire that's just hacked off. I don't know where it goes. Where the fuck's that gone? Ah, there we go. So yeah, there's a white wire there and it's just hacked off. I've got no idea where that goes. So we'll have to have a look on the other loom and see what we can do with that. So yeah, a couple of little repairs to do, and then we'll get that fully wrapped. And then when that's wrapped, we can see about getting it on the bike. Oh yes. Right, I'm going to start work on this wiring loom now. I have inspected the wiring loom on the other bike, and it's no better or no worse than this one. So as I've already cleaned this one, I'm going to stick with it. Now, a few things I found wrong with this one, which again, like the wiring loom on the other bike is all in place, so I don't want to disturb it because I'm going to be copying the routing and everything. The first thing that's wrong with this is those two crimped on spade connectors. Now they just connect to this 2-pin plug, which should come off, and that goes to the side stand switch. So that's something I can deal with when it's on the bike. I don't have to worry about that now. Now the other thing that concerned me, where are we? There's 2 or 3 things wrong with this which I've had to go and check. This diode, resistor, whatever the fuck it is, wired into this random wire. I don't know why it's there. I can tell you that it is not there on the other bike, so, and this is, I'm 99.9% certain that is not factory. So if I give you a close-up of that, some clever bod can tell me what that is and what its values are, I believe, from the colours. Now the only thing I can think of is that maybe that's something to do with the indicator circuit, and they put LED indicators on the bike at some point, and that was to deal with the flashing. I don't know if that's the case. I've never seen it dealt with like that. I do know that I'm going to snip it out and join those wires together. But if anybody knows why they think that may have been put in, please enlighten me. I will hang on to it just in case I've got to put it back in, but I'm just curious, very curious. Anyway, we'll pop it. It's in that tin there on the press, so we'll join those back together. I've got some connectors, we'll deal with that in a minute. What else was it? There was one more thing, weren't there? There were some wires hanging out. Let me just, there we go. That there, 3 random wires just hanging out there doing absolutely nothing. Now they go to the plug on the starter relay. That plug there. And this one has already been replaced on that donor bike, as you can see. But I have snipped that off, and we will join that onto there, and then that's that problem sorted. And then the only other thing I've got to do is completely rewrap it and re-insulate it in one or two places. So I'm going to get on with that. I'm going to turn the camera off, try and make this look as neat as I possibly can, and I'll show you the finished result. Right, we are done, and I have to say that has really tidied this loom up. I'm very, very pleased with how that's turned out. Now, you're probably wondering, or you're probably not wondering until I point it out, what the fuck is this white tape for in 3 places along the loom? And the answer is, I haven't got a fucking clue. But it was marked in white at those points. So I've remarked it at those points because, and this is probably the reason it's there as well, but it will help with locating the wiring loom where it goes on the frame, you know. So if that lines up with the seat bolt, then, you know, the rest of the loom is in the right place. That's the only thing I can think of, but I did remark it at the same points for that reason. But yeah, there you go. That, if you squint and have 10 pints of beer and stand several hundred yards away, looks like a brand spanking new wiring loom. So yeah, very, very happy with that. The next thing to do is to get it fitted, but I ain't going to do that now because it's cracking on and I want to go in and have something to eat. So you'll have to wait till next time, but it'll probably only be a few seconds for you. Catch you later. Right, hello, welcome back. It's the next day, and yesterday, having wrapped this wiring loom and actually been very pleased with the result, I said to you guys I was going to fit it. Change of plan, I'm not going to fit it now. The main reason is that I have no means of attaching it to the frame other than cable ties. Now I want to keep this bike, I want it to be a really good restoration. So I have ordered some proper little rubber round belty type, similar to a wristwatch strap, to secure it more professionally to the frame. So I'm going to wait for them to come before I bother installing that. What I do want to do though is install, most of it's in these boxes here. I want to install some bits and pieces that the wiring loom attaches to. Controls, brackets with coils on, things like that. And of course the speedo, which I've got out here. Now that mounts on this big old bracket that needs rubbing down and painting. So that's where this has led me at the minute. So I'm gonna whip them clocks off. 24,000 miles. Just a brief history for, I mean, all the videos are there if you can be bothered to go back and look at them. But a brief history of where we are with this. I've had it a couple of years now. Now initially, I bought this GPZ500 here. I bought it in good faith as a non-runner. The guy told me, he was a car dealer actually, but he didn't sell this through his business, he sold it privately. And it was a non-runner, but he told me, oh, it didn't need a lot, it's probably a starter or something, you know, he'd heard it running and was sure there was very little wrong with it. So I paid way too much money. I think it was something like 400 quid for this. Got it home, only to find that the problem was that the engine had absolutely detonated itself. It was blown to fuck. There are videos of it being torn down, and you know, you can see it for yourself. I still wanted to go ahead and restore this, so I bought a parts bike. Now I can't show you the parts bike because, well, it's not a parts bike anymore. The parts bike, which I bought for that, having assessed it, and it is under there. I'll get it out later. I can't be arsed now, but I'm started restoring it. The parts bike turned out to be much better than the bike I wanted to restore. So we did a about flip, arse about face, and the bike that I was going to restore, i.e. that one over there, became the parts bike, and the parts bike became the one I'm going to restore. It is slightly older, but I can update it with all the modern, you know, I can't get that off here. Yeah, the updated bits and pieces. There's not a lot of difference. There's style differences with you know, the lights and shit like that. Anyway, there you go. That was a brief history of where we got to. The frame on the bike I'm now restoring, i.e. previously the parts bike, it's getting confusing, and I'm confusing myself. Hang on, let me get a JIS. Walk JISs and then pick up ordinary bloody screwdrivers. What's wrong with me? Yeah, we had the frame powder coated, we had the wheels powder coated, we had the swinging arm powder coated, and that was all put back together. That's what's under that sheet. That's basically a rolling frame. So we now need to start popping bits and pieces back on it. And it's going to be a slow old process, because the way I shall do it, and you know, this is between other bikes that I'm messing with and work and looking after my granddaughter and all sorts, which is why it's going to take a long time. The way I should do it is exactly what I'm doing now. I will pull a part out of the box, I will fully restore that part, I will fit it to my rolling chassis, and then I will pull the next part off, restore that, etc, etc. I mean, even that, it don't look in bad condition, but I will try and get something to enhance the black on it. In fact, it's a little bit damaged there. Looks like someone's poked it with a screwdriver. So my option is that I will go and have a look at the one on the other bike, and if that turns out to be better, then I will put the better part for my restoration. But I'm not going to do it now, because where are we, 10mm. The focus of this particular exercise is to get this bracket rubbed down, painted and fitted, quite possibly. So we're going to remove the clocks. The clocks on these bikes, they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I think they look fantastic. And then why a GPZ500, and why am I restoring and spending money on a bike which I know 100% will be worth less than the net price? You know, it's going to be, I'm estimating it's going to owe me about two and a half grand maybe. And it's probably going to be worth 1,200, 1,500 quid. So why am I doing it? Well, one, as I've said many times on this channel, I don't do this for the money or to make money. Secondly, when I first passed my test, my full bike licence test many years ago, my first big bike was a GPZ500. Now I would very much like to lay my hands on that very bike, but unfortunately, although I've not searched real hard, but I've had a look round and I can't find it. What was it? It was I think it was something like K472 JGU. But anyway, it was that one was the very early one, the one with the I mean, these clocks, 2 round clocks. The very early one just had like a big square clock, and that's what that was. But these look better, they really do. Yeah, so anyway, I can't have that. So another upgrade I would very much like to do to this, and again I'm struggling to find parts, is the very latest ones had a twin front disc, and I would like to get the parts to upgrade this to a twin front disc. I'm probably not going to, because I've already had the wheels powder coated, and it would involve replacing the front wheel and having to have that powder coated again. But originally that's what I wanted to do. Anyway, what I'm going to do now, which I won't subject you to watching, is I'm going to clean this down, rub it down, get it nice and smooth, and get a coat of black paint or primer on it at least. Right, catch you later. Right, I've been going at this bracket now for probably an hour. I've hit it with sanding discs and paint stripper and everything, and I'll tell you now, it's fucking hard going, and I just can't get into all these little bits and pieces. So I've made the decision that I'm going to pop it down to the local sandblasters, and I'm going to have them sandblast it and powder coat it. But as it's not worth just going down with that on its own, I've dug out loads of other little brackets, bits and pieces for the bike, so we'll have the whole lot done in one go. That will save me an awful lot of sanding and painting. Don't know what he's going to charge me, but we'll bob it down there. Might even do it now, see what he's got to say. Cheers. Right, we haven't seen this for a while, have we? Despite all the covers on it, I still managed to get dusty, so we'll get the airline off on it and blow that off in a minute. But I'm sure most of you follow my channel have seen this thing. We haven't done anything for it for a little while, but the frame and wheels were powder coated, engine top end rebuild and painted, and then pretty much I got bored with it and put it away. But yeah, this is a full-on I'm going to say nut and bolt restore, because I am actually restoring the nuts and bolts. As you can see, I've been zinc plating nuts and bolts, although I have bought a load of flange nuts and bolts, which I'm probably going to use to save me a bit of plating work. And then my plating stuff, fluid, has been sitting there for a number of months, and I don't know if it goes off. I don't know if it's any good, but like I said, we're going to use some good quality flange nuts and bolts to replace a lot of the fixings. Right, I'm going to get my airline and a brush, and I'm going to go through it and dust everything off, and then we'll come back. Might get a couple of bits and pieces on it today. It's going to be very slow though, because each piece needs restoring, as I've said before. All of those parts you see from a few days ago have gone on to the shot blasters, all them brackets and things. Some may say, oh fucking hell, it's heavy. Some may say kind of a bit of a waste of money, because most of those brackets you won't see, because they'll be under fairings and panels and things, but I shall know they've been restored. Anyway, I'm going to get an airline on and go through this, and then we'll see if we can find any bits and pieces to bolt on it. Should put the light on. A bit dark in here. Right, see you in a bit. Right then, this is kind of why restorations like this take such a long time. Now I've just got this throttle cable off, throttle assembly, electrics, cables, etc. And I've just spent about 15-20 minutes thoroughly cleaning everything, cleaning all the cables and what have you. We have new fixings, as you can see. They are not JIS fixings. I'm imagining if I bought all the fixings from Kawasaki, the costs would spiral. So I'm doing the best restoration I can within my both financial and intellectual budget, if you like. But yeah, that's that we can now bolt on. I think it's good enough. I can't tighten it up because two things. One, I've got to now find the brake reservoir, restore that and bolt that on first, because this butts up to it. And then on the end of there are some bar end weights, so I've got to sort out which are the best bar end weights I've got, clean, restore, paint, and then put that on. So every single component that I put on this bike just takes time. Now every single fixing, every nut, every bolt, every washer is going to be restored or replaced. No oxidized, rusty, knackered, broken fixings are going back on this bike anywhere. No nut, no bolt, no screw, nothing. They're all going to get some sort of attention, even if it's a basic clean. So for that reason, this sort of shit takes forever. We'll have left some masking tape on there. Let's get that off. Oh, that's when I painted the Speedo drive. So, you know, even the fixings, fucking masking tape, when you leave it on for a long time, it's a bastard to get off. Yeah, even nuts, bolts and fixings that you don't see because they're under panels and brackets and what have you, regardless, they're all going to be restored and replaced. I should be doing this to a bike that's got more rarity and more value, because you know, this is these are 10 a penny, but I particularly wanted to do it to this bike because, well, for reasons I've stated previously, it was my first big bike, etc, etc. So yeah, I'm just going to crack on, pull some parts out, restore them, paint them, fit them, and we'll dip you in and out over the next couple of years maybe. Right, carry on. Right, where was I? Anyway, just to sort of show you the ridiculous lengths I'm going to. I don't know if I'm no professional. This is the way I do it. Right, that is the bolt that holds the bar end weight. Now, it's a specialist bolt for this project. When I say specialist, I mean I can't go and buy that at B&Q. It's a Kawasaki part. So I've cleaned it, wire wheeled the threads and everything, and I'm going to treat that for rust shortly. I shall show you how I'm going to do that. Well, you know, you dip it in oil, you heat it up and dip it in oil. It's no big secret. This is the bar end weight. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a lot of marks and dings and scuffs and things. Marks and dings and scuffs and things. I'm a poet. I've put a bolt through it so that I can attach it to my pillar drill. If space was not a problem, I'd have a lathe, and this would be something I could turn on a lathe. But anyway, as you can see, I've got it in my pillar drill. Now, I don't know how good I can get it. I'm just going to get it as good as I possibly can. And this is how I'm going to try and do it. So I'll carry on and do that, and I'll show you when it's finished. Right, where was I? Pliers. And anyway, look, I've done this best I can. Turned it on the drill, as you saw. It's not perfect, but once we've got a nice coat of primer and paint on that, that'll be absolutely fine. That's going to be my next job. But before I do that, I'm going to show you the process here, which you've seen. You've seen loads of people do that. I don't even know why I'm showing it to you, but I will anyway. So that, as I said, has been cleaned up on the wire wheel and sanded and made as good as we can. My can of Pepsi here is in fact engine oil, new engine oil. I'm told you shouldn't do this with fixings that carry a load, like head bolts and things like that, which kind of makes sense. Now it's just coming to the point of cherry red there, which I believe is the point that you need to be at. And then we just drop it in the oil. Fried bolt. Pull that out in a minute. God, it stinks. Fucking hell. Is that hot? Yeah, it's a bit warm. How am I going to get that out? I didn't think this through, did I? There we go. And it's gone black. It's not gone so black underneath actually, but yeah. I think I'll give that another go. I don't think I heated that up enough. But anyway, that's the process. I'll give it another go and then I'll probably show you. Right, slow old process even, as I've said. There's the brake front master cylinder, which as you can see I've cleaned and painted, and that's come out lovely. Can't put that on because it occurred to me I've used this shit here to paint it. Simon Eyes gloss black. I used quite a bit of that, it's good stuff. Reason I can't put that back on is because I think the brake fluid is going to fetch that paint straight off again, so I need something over the top. I did have some petrol resistant lacquer. I know brake fluid isn't petrol, before anybody points out the obvious, but I think it will give it a bit of protection. Unfortunately I've run out, but I have just ordered a load, and can't put that back on yet for that reason. This is the bar end weight. Again, we've only done one. That little bit of pitting and what have you coming through there, but you know, it is what it is. We can only do what we can do. Again, I'll probably blow a bit of lacquer over that just to give it a bit of protection. The lid for the brake reservoirs down there, again, that's still wet, just painted that. And then all the other little bits and pieces for that brake reservoir are in there. Each piece has to be restored bit by bit. And again, you know, this is why it takes forever. The GPZ is back under the covers for the moment. So I've been all morning, and that's what I've done. You know, it takes forever. I have had notification that the bits I ordered from Poland are on their way. That's for the sprocket and the washer for that, so we can get that fitted. And then we can sort of see about it. I want to get that torn down to nothing. But anyway, for now, I'm rambling. That'll do. We'll catch you on the next one.